Thank you
Yes.
so much, Riberto, for taking the time to speak with me on the Bear Experiment podcast. I really appreciate it. I've been meaning to touch up on this subject for some time now, as I personally know so many parents that do have children that were born with Down syndrome. As your beautiful daughter, Priscilla, who just turned 27 years old, from what I saw on your pictures that you were posting, the proud papa.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And the pleasure is
27
mine to
years
be.
old. Yeah, I can't believe that she's already 27 years old. Jeez, we're getting old, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just time. I still believe that age is just a number,
Oh, yeah.
and time just flies.
Yeah.
I could remember like it was yesterday the first time I held Priscilla in my hands, and
Yeah.
27 years later, here we are.
Amazing. That's incredible. Okay, so let's start there. Why don't you kind of walk us through, um, finding out the news, that she was, that she was going to have Down syndrome. Was it something that you guys knew beforehand, or was it a complete surprise?
The latter. It was a complete surprise. Um, uh, Linda was 19, I was 20, and
Which is not common either, right? When for young parents,
uh, right.
that's all.
Yes.
Your story is very similar to Marlis and Lewis's story.
Oh, okay.
Marlis, who's a dear friend of mine. Um,
Yes.
Same
Totally.
situation where, and you have other children, right? You have older children with your wife. Right. So it was, yeah, like it wasn't lining up, right? Like you weren't falling within that category where it's like, okay, you have to have the amnio, there's history, there's a sibling, nothing. It was a complete shock to you guys.
Right. I mean, all her tests were fine. A normal pregnancy. They did the sonograms, which I'm actually surprised. Even at that point, why they didn't, you know, um, caught it in the sonogram. But nowadays they're able to actually. But uh, but yeah, and it's a little ironic because I was reading a book, when that's called What to Expect When You're Expecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot
There's-
of pregnant women. Yeah, I read that when I was pregnant.
Right. I'm the one that actually read it because I wouldn't say I'm an avid reader, but I do love to read and find out things and stuff. So at the time, a little 19, 20-year-old Jit, reading through that book, and there's a little section that talks about the possibilities of Down syndrome and this and that. And I read it and I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen to us. And I even showed Linda at the time, and she was like, "Oh no, don't even show me that. It's not gonna happen." And the surprise came the day that she was born.